G'day, g'day. How you going? What do you know? He'll strike a light. G'day, g'day. And how you going? Just say g'day, 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 and you'll be right.
Today's End Times prophecy update, and again we focus on these each week from time to time, and it's more than just curiosity. It's extremely practical. Paul said in Romans 13:11, "For knowing the time, that now is high time to wake out of sleep, for now our salvation is nearer than when we first believed." So not only is there an urgency of the hour, but it's also the needing to be alert, to be aware. And this is one of the things that Paul says, don't be ignorant of these things. Don't be ignorant of spiritual gifts. Don't be ignorant of end-time events and things like that. Even after discussing the last days, the Apostle Peter in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 11 and 12 says, "In the manner of persons that you ought to be holy in conduct, in godliness, looking for the hastening and the coming day of the Lord." So we're to live godly and holy lives while we're waiting for the Lord's return, but also be busy about His business. And again, He can come anytime He wants to. He can come today, He can come tomorrow, next week, next month, whatever. But we need to be prepared for the future as well, not just to put everything in today. And so we need to be wise about that. Anyways, in today's update, there's two main news items concerning Israel. The other day, Hamas launched a barrage of rockets to deliver a message to Israel and renews Gaza's strikes. And so Hamas on Saturday said a barrage of rockets and mortar shells into Israel territory overnight was fired by the resistance to stop the retaliation, Israel's escalation. And so the spokesman for the terrorist group said the projectiles were an immediate response and was meant to deliver a message to Israel. So Hamas militants fired more than 30 rockets and mortars toward Israel overnight after the Israeli Defense Force struck a number of Hamas targets in Gaza in response to a violence along the border. So this is going to continue to escalate. The Israeli Defense Force announced on Saturday afternoon that it had renewed strikes on the targets in Gaza. The army earlier on Saturday said that it targeted 2 Hamas-attacked tunnels as well as other military compound in the Gaza Strip, including those involved in the wave of the kites and the balloons that they're launching into Israel. Even as the airstrikes were being carried out, the rockets were being fired toward Israel. And according to the IDF, the 6 projectiles were intercepted by the Iron Dome aerial defense system. And so one rocket landed inside the kibbutz near one of the local council areas. The army said that it held Hamas responsible for all the violence emanating from Gaza, which they have ruled since 2007. So as we continue to see the tensions mount with Hamas and Hezbollah, it's just a matter of time before they do cross a line and they launch more rockets. We know Hezbollah's got over 100 to 150,000 rockets aimed at Israel. It's just a matter for them to unleash it. And so maybe while the tension's going on with Hamas, Hezbollah could easily be firing weapons into Israel. And this could very well start the Psalm 83 war. So it's just a matter of time before we start to see this coming about. And then also a couple days ago on Wednesday, the Israeli Defense Force intercepted a Syrian drone that was penetrating 10 kilometers inside Israel. So the Israeli Defense Force shot down a Syrian drone that penetrated several miles into Israeli territory from Syria on Wednesday, sending fragments of aircraft crashing into the southern part of the Galilean Sea. So they used this Patriot missile. They had intercepted an unmanned aerial vehicle. So they're not sending personnel in there. They're just using drones to do the work for them, which is a new weaponry that a lot of countries are starting to use. The Israeli Defense Force said that the Syrian drone was flown into Syria after it passed along the Jordanian airspace. So the incident took place as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was meeting in Moscow to talk to Vladimir Putin that Israel will not tolerate Iranian military presence in Syria. And so the anti-aircraft Patriot missile was fired at the drone, set off the rocket sirens in southern Golan Heights and northern Jordan Valley regions, the Army said. And so residents of the northern Israel reported seeing the trail of smoke and as well as the hearing explosions. So it's one of those things we're continuing to see more and more develop on a weekly basis, what's happening in Syria, the development with Russia, Iran their presence, and which will eventually lead to the Ezekiel 38 war. But at some point, we're also going to see the Damascus destruction. Maybe as Israel takes out what's happening in Damascus, maybe that will unleash the rest of the full military scale war in that area. So just things to be watchful, to be alert, to be informed on as we continue to see things unfold concerning the end time events. Amen? And that's it for today's update.